resolution, a talk, a conversation, a name, nothing in San Diego. So there is a difference between when you have a political will and when you don't have a political will in that sense. Nevertheless, we're moving forward. We're working hard on changing the paradigm from I don't know, I don't see, I don't care, I don't talk about it, so therefore it doesn't exist, to the one that's throwing away, there's no way. So the picture that you're seeing here, for those of you that are not from San Diego, is from Mission Bay. And this here is our former landfill. And now is a resort park. Everybody uses for a water park and for fun. So that's what it was. And we're trying to change the perception. We're trying to show people that you're destroying a natural habitat, that you're going to use it, you're going to have fun, it will be good for you. And doing this, there is no throwaway. We have to recognize the obstacles that we have from when we're trying to teach people. And yes, it's confusing. Nobody knows everything, even us. We get confused. We don't know exactly what's going on in a lot of new technologies and resources that we have. So talking about zero waste, talking about trash, it is confusing, source separating, recycling. And then also the other obstacle that we have is resistance to change. And we had talked about that here. And working on changing the flow, and this is everywhere in the world. You think that the government's there to screw you, and the government thinks that the residents are there to screw them, right? It's not really that way, and it's not any privilege of any country to have this system or any city, and it's everybody's fault. It's our fault. We elect them. We pay them to serve us. We better keep track of them. And they also work for us, so they have to keep a tap on us, and they don't. So it's we have to work really hard on changing that flow. So another thing that really works is money. Money talks. A lot of us are in this business because we love what we understand. Some of us because of money, and money is the first thing that got you here. But when you talk to managers, and except from UNO, our politician that has the environmental heart, everybody looks at money. Money, money, the new advertisement that we have for the bank here in the United States, money, 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 that's all they talk. So you gotta show them that this is money. On the city of San Diego, just the curbside recycling, we got $4 million last year. So that's for everybody, not just City of San Diego, it's everybody. It's just understanding the perception that that's a resource. And then identifying problems. And the problems are all the same everywhere. Don't know, don't care, too hard. So how are we going to make it easier? Make it convenient, make it clear, make it accessible, educate, educate, educate. So I always say that my mom is the best. She nagged me my whole life. Clean your bedroom, brush your teeth, do this, do that. It worked. Now I clean my bedroom and I nag at people that don't clean their bedroom. So if we keep repeating it, it will work. So that's the thing that we need to think about. Education is the key. So in the city of San Diego, this is what we have. We have a mandatory recycling ordinance for commodities for commercials and residentials and special events. We also have a construction and demolition debris deposit ordinance, meaning it's not really mandatory. If you get a permit with us, then you have to do a waste management plan and pay a deposit. And if at the end of it you show us that you divert 50%, we give you a deposit back. It's a good deal. It's working. It's really working. And also, if you bring the construction and demolition to the landfill, you're going to pay a surcharge. So it's helping a little bit. We have a food waste composting program, which is not mandatory, but we are really working on get this going and get people understanding the importance of getting the organics out of the landfill and understanding that we live in a desert. We need soil. San Diego is a desert, and we have the highest concentration of farm in the country. So why are you throwing away something that you're going to need? You're going to be starving in a few years. So think about it. We're trying to work with them. We have a public space and recycling. We've done 3 different pilot programs. We're doing a 4th one right now and see what's the best way to approach different communities. We have, like Rick said, the environmental preferable purchasing program. And we also have now, we just went to council, and hopefully that's going to be signed off, a ban of styrofoam and water bottles in city facilities. So we city employees won't buy those coolers, the big bottles, and we will have water bottles for the people that work on the streets. But it's getting there, it's moving forward. Things that came out of that, thinking of the box. I can't take credit, the city of San Diego can't take credit for that. That started in Northern California, but when we have the mandatory recycling ordinance, more people were demanding recycling. They didn't have enough space, so the haulers have to adopt the split bins in San Diego. And it was a little bit of tricky to get them started, but now they're okay with that. So changing, the resistance to change. Other things that we're learning that we're exploring possibilities. Compostables are not really compostables all the time. We did a test with 104 different compostable items in our composting facilities to see which ones would work, and at the end of it, we had only 37% of them really composed to the end. Majority of them didn't decompose. As you can see here, the forks, knife, the utensils, after 10 weeks, they were happy there, looking at us like, ha, ha. So, and that's not just our experience. A lot of composters are having the same experience with those materials. So we have this published, and the composting community is pushing forward against the manufacturers to have clear explanation what is really composed, under what circumstances, what do they have on their materials. And some of them, they say they're composed, and you put it there, at the end you have the wax that's there, doesn't compose. So it contaminates our products, and we are educating. Tons of people are buying compostables, think I'm doing the right thing, the green thing. Well, it's not. So we are educating people in that. It's really interesting. It's a job that, never ends. Through our outreach, through our ordinance, we're seeing changes. This one was incredible. They had 2 shoes, and they said they couldn't recycle. I'm like, okay, can we turn the dumpsters? And they look at us like, so it's again, it's amazing. People, but it's because they don't know. We do award and recognize everybody that's working with us, and that's important. There are different levels of awards, including the mayor gets involved and people like that. And we have the Miramar landfill where we compost. Inside there we have the greenery, and the greenery alone last year was responsible for 52 days that we saved landfill space, and we're not doing a lot of food waste. So there's a lot of potential there. Before we have all the ordinance, from 97 to 2007, we increased in average 1.1% diversion a year. Once we passed the ordinance, we started increasing 3.8% a year in diversion. Pretty impressive. So doesn't matter if you educate people, you gotta have a mandate, you gotta have consequences. It doesn't hurt their pockets, they will not pay attention. Overall, because of our efforts in the last 3 years, we are saving 864 days of landfill space. If you are a resident of the city of San Diego, you remember that 10 years ago, we used to tell you that the landfill was going to close in 2012, then 2018, and now we are up to 2024, and if we keep going in that direction, we might get closer to zero waste. We are one of the biggest cities in San Diego, but we don't have zero waste resolution. 2 other cities that have, they're on top of us, but we are 11% difference from the major city in San Diego that has a higher diversion rate without zero waste. So yes, it can be done much harder because there's no focus. You cannot go back to the politicians and say, but you have a zero waste resolution that puts a ban on it. They won't do that, but it's helping. It takes a lot more work from us, but it's happening. And this is the race. So in 2010, we had decreased the gap between the highest diversion rate in California and us, tremendously. And we think that once we start having the commercial food waste, we're gonna step up a lot more. And this year has been the year that we really focus on that. And that's it. Thank you very much.